Hey, this is Subspace Transmissions. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cam.
Cam, we just watched episode 4 of Star Trek Discovery, Context is for Kings.
That's an awesome title.
Did you recontextualize all your thoughts that previously came with this series?
So much so.
Okay.
So much so.
Let's jump into it. This is actually the introduction of the USS Discovery. We get introductions to one Captain Lorca, Stamets, as well as Cadet Tilly. What do you make of the new ship, the new crew?
Wow, that's a huge question to answer in a couple sentences, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing. These characters have really, they have like a kind of eccentric personalities. So there's something to hold on to. They don't feel bland, which is what one of my biggest concerns would be, that often TV nowadays plays a little more realistic than, say, Berman era Trek did.
Yeah, and I'm liking that we get all these kind of idiosyncrasies, whether Tilly is talking about her chronic snoring or how a roommate is an automatic best friend.
That's how we met.
Former roommate. But even like Lorca, he's got a thing for fortune cookies and dim lighting.
Yeah.
This is not something you necessarily get in your introduction of one Jean-Luc Picard, right? So I like how they're introducing these characters in a different kind of way.
Captains are always basket cases.
How so?
They just always have these odd quirks, and they seem like they, maybe in another part of life, wouldn't function quite as well. Like they excel on the bridge. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see that. But what would be the weird quirk of Cisco? Is it his Cajun cooking?
He might be the most normal in that he's able to have like a normal home life.
Okay.
So I might give him that edge.
You don't think Lorca has a normal home life where he's keeping these giant creatures caged up?
I'm looking forward to the episode where we meet Lorca's wife and children.
Yeah, is that the family pet that we had that monster chasing them around the USS Glenn? What?
I don't know. So, I mean, that's the gist of this episode, really. We get to see Burnham come over to the Discovery, and they investigate a ship that's floating with a bunch of dead crew and a creature running around.
Yeah, as far as an episode 3 goes for a Star Trek series, I think too many people might be comparing it to any other 1990s television of Star Trek, how, you're 3 episodes in, you should be having adventures of the week, but it's so obviously to me like a slow burn where you're building the universe that you're in, you're slowly introducing the characters. I like how we're getting these characters, and that to me is what I'm looking forward to most, is how much I get attached to these characters. Overall, I don't know, a guy like Stamets, is that somebody who's a little too standoffish for you, or do you dig what he's putting out there?
Tyler Orton in space. I'm saying it.
I'm pretty sure that's correct, unfortunately. What about somebody like Cadet Tilly?
I like her because she kind of has that Barclay kind of vibe where you're like, this character is someone who's a little uncomfortable in their own skin, but is in Starfleet, which is something we didn't see a lot of. You could see shades of it, say, in Geordie LaForge, but he was still played as kind of aloof, and the crew didn't acknowledge Geordie as being strange, really.
Which I find intriguing. It makes me think about how strange that crew must be.
No kidding. They're all looking at Barclay like he's crazy, but Geordie, they're like, no, he's normal.
Yeah,
what?
Exactly.
What of it?
So we also have Burnham kind of finding her place to a certain degree in that I don't think she's been recommissioned by the end of the episode, but she's told that she can stick around the USS Discovery and help them with this organic propulsion system.
Sure.
I don't think this organic propulsion system is making it to the 24th century. Do you, Cam?
Spoiler.
Yeah. What do you think of this? They're using spores. I guess, how do they describe them? Kind of the centerpiece of the universe to a certain degree? Or
Sure. I mean, if it worked for penicillin, who knows what it could do beyond that, right?
Yeah, but what do you make of this?
I don't. I mean, you know what really popped into my head was like Thor, where it's like all the galaxies are connected in the Great Tree. I kind of got that vibe where they're talking about the way that the spores connect the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's an interesting. I mean, I will be honest. When they launched Discovery, I did not expect that I'd be watching an episode where they're explaining spores will help us, travel through space one day.
Yeah, I just have to believe that maybe by the end of this season, we're not having spore travel as much as we've maybe been led to believe that's going to happen.
We'd better.
Okay. One standout moment for me, though, is when we see the Klingon aboard the USS Glenn shushing the crew because of that monster, that big pet, I guess, of Lorca's. But I don't know. Have you ever seen Klingons behave in that way? What does it take to really scare a Klingon?
Tribbles.
Yeah, we did get to see Lorca with a tribble, though. Is he very reassuring to Lorca as he's dealing with his debilitating eye injury?
It was weird because it was never acknowledged. It's just like this tribble sitting there making these noises.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
it must be kind of soothing.
I'm curious, do people really know what these things are?
Well, everybody in the trial with tribbles taken by surprise by these things.
They didn't know what they were.
You know, maybe Klingons hate tribbles, right?
Yes.
Maybe that's why Lorca always carries one with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
We may have something here.
So, Cam, one other intriguing thing here that we've got going is main engineering. This is kind of a different look for main engineering than we usually see on Star Trek.
It's sort of like a very sleek industrial kind of look.
Yeah. Is it a little too sleek for you? I would have liked it if it looked a little bit more worn in, but we do know that this is a ship that's straight off the assembly line, as they say.
Sure. And we also know that Captain Lorca runs a tight ship, so it's going to be spotless at all times.
Yeah.
It's like a stainless steel delicatessen.
Okay.
It's like
do you
always
visit a lot of
shiny.
those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall, are you looking forward to where we're going to go with these characters? I keep coming back to the characters because I no matter what happens in the story, as long as I like the characters, I'll keep coming back and watching the show.
Yeah, definitely, this episode did what it needed to in terms of hooking me into the crew of the Discovery. I want to see where their story goes. I want to know why there's black badges on the ship. Yeah. There's a lot of mysteries here that aren't answered, so I'm looking forward to that stuff. As an episode with sort of and it does have a bit of a semi-standalone story on it, a little bit. I thought that stuff was kind of disposable. I can't say say 10 years from now when I'm what's a random episode of Discovery to watch? I can't say this would be one I'd be coming back to, but as a sort of a character growing episode, I think it was actually pretty entertaining.
Okay.
So hopefully, episode 4 and beyond are just building off of this one with great things, one after another.
Well, we're still in it. Listen to our podcast. It's coming out later this week. And I guess what we want to do is kind of rank the captains as we know them throughout all of Star Trek. And we finally get to throw Lorca as well as Captain Giorgio into the mix. So I think that's going to be a fun episode. We've got a special guest with us this week as well. Some great insights. Lands, I think, one of the funniest jokes that we've ever had on the show as well. So you don't want to miss out on our special guest.
That's not a hard competition to win.
If it's between you and me, it's pretty much dad jokes, right?
Well, it's Barile jokes.
Okay, excellent.